Fox News senior strategic analyst, retired four-star General Jack Keane. General, I've never seen you so optimistic as when those sanctions were beginning to choke out the Ayatollah and the Iranian government. We're starting to see real progress in the Middle East. What's changed?
Well, I mean, fundamentally here, the fact that this administration came into power, and the first thing they did, as opposed to taking advantage of the maximum sanctions that Trump had imposed because the Iranians were back on their heels, certainly they were absolutely rocked by the targeting and assassination of Qasem Soleimani. And then the Abraham Accords were occurring, where the Arabs and the Israelis were getting together principally to counter the Iranians. Those are the three pluses that the administration immediately dismissed. And because I guess they were Trump initiatives, and went back to the Obama initiative, reconstituted what most people in a bipartisan manner believed was a flawed deal then. And this one is on a path to be worse than that. And there's bipartisan opposition to it in the House, given the 34 House Democrats and 16 House Republicans who wrote a letter to the president opposing it. And in the Senate, there's bipartisan opposition to it, led no less by the Senate Foreign Relations Committee chairman, Senate senior Democrat Menendez. So, yeah, the Biden administration has gone back to an appeasement policy as opposed to just carrying on and adding and strengthening what Trump had done with a confrontation policy, which is where the Israelis are and where the Arabs are.
It's actually dereliction of duty not to inform foreign relations about what you're negotiating and what you're not. Senator Gillibrand on with Bret Baier this week. Schumer didn't vote for the last one. Cardin didn't vote for the last one. Yet they're doing a deal with the devil, and they'll be able to flood the world community with their oil, make a ton of money, and then give steroids to Hamas and Hezbollah, to say the least. Meanwhile, the other big story where tensions are extremely high is between Taiwan and China. Now, yesterday, Beijing sent 14 fighter jets across Taiwan Straits. But what happened prior to that is even more significant, because Taipei's military shot down a Chinese drone. Are they showing a willingness to fight, some spunk?
Yeah, I think after the major incursion that Beijing did as a result of the Pelosi visit, I think President Tsai has made a decision here that they're going to up their game a little bit, and certainly shooting down a drone, even though it was reportedly a civilian drone, it was over one of their islands, clearly violating their airspace, took that measure. And I think that sends a message, certainly, that they're going to stand up to more of this confrontation that Beijing is imposing. What's significant here is that on October the 16th, the National Party Congress is going to meet 2,300 delegates to enshrine President Xi for another term, a third term, unprecedented, and possibly indefinitely, though we don't know that. And that's significant because it lays out the broad policy direction for the next 5 years, and it certainly empowers him and helps to consolidate the power that he does have. And it remains to be seen, is he going to be more aggressive after this as a result of that enshrinement? It remains to be seen. Some do think this. Here's the thing, I think, that's on Beijing's mind and President Xi. His economy and his growth is getting worse. And he has headwinds there that he has never experienced in his 10 years in power. The United States is upping its game in terms of increasing its military capability. And the window of vulnerability that the United States has, and it does have a window of vulnerability here because they outgun us and outmanned us, will eventually be closing. The issue is that going to incentivize President Xi to take action sooner rather than later? It remains to be seen.
And General, I know you're going to be all over it. We'll continue to talk to you about it. Thanks so much, General Jack Keane. I know he's definitely into the fact that we are at we're at Fort Hood today.
Subscribe to the Fox News YouTube channel to catch our nightly opens, stories that are changing the world and changing your life. From Tucker Carlson tonight.